So this is a deeper. This is actually the Deeper Chirp Plus 2. I constantly get questions about how I use the deeper, whether that's on Instagram or Facebook or something like that. I'm always asked loads of questions. So today I'm going to go through my 5 top tips on how to get the most from your deeper. For those of you that don't know what a deeper actually is, it's basically a castable fish finder. So when you see like echo sounders on bait boats, on rowing boats, that sort of stuff, this is basically one of those, but you can cast it rather than boat it out, although you can actually boat it out as well. But yeah, you basically attach it to the end of your rod, your spod rod or marker rod, and you can cast it around the swim, retrieving it back, and it will transmit basically what is on the lake bed to your phone, and it can even show you fish as well. So yeah, I'm going to go through my 5 top tips. Here they are. So tip 1 is all about the hardware I use with a deeper, because the last thing you want to do is attach your deeper to your rod and then potentially crack off and lose it. That would be a bit of a killer. So this is what I use to ensure that doesn't happen. I use a nice powerful rod. This is actually a Daiwa Infinity X45. It's a 3 3/4 pounds test curve, so quite a powerful rod. But most spod rods will work. A nice powerful spod rod will be ideal, or a powerful marker rod. Then I've just got a spod reel on there. It's just a sort of a standard big pit sort of reel with some fairly thin braid on, that's casting braid. That's just some of the quarter spod braid. And then to that I attach, which is very, very important, is the leader. I use a 30 pounds armor cord leader. You can go even heavier than that if you really want to make sure that it isn't going to snap. So yeah, I use a nice strong leader on the end, that's armor cord, and then that goes through to the deeper itself. But one thing you'll see is there's quite a neat way of attaching it. I attach it via a very large loop that I create using a figure of 8 loop, and then I actually create another figure of 8 loop in the end, which basically allows me to pull the tag, take the deeper off really quickly, like so, and then I can reattach it. So yeah, that is the hardware that I use for the deeper, and we'll make sure that you don't lose it. Although deeper can really aid you in finding fish, it's not something that I solely rely on. I do like to observe the water most of the time, to be honest, whether it's using binoculars, getting up early in the morning, watching the water. When I have pinpointed the carp, where a deeper comes in really handy is actually investigating the area with minimum disturbance. Obviously, if you found fish and you don't really know what you're fishing over, you could be crashing a lead about for ages trying to find a little clear spot, the depths, etc. Because the last thing you want to be doing is obviously chucking your rig straight into a load of weed. So the great thing about a deeper is you can explore that area quietly, as it's not travelling through the water column, hitting the bottom. You're literally pulling it across the surface of the water. So like I said, once I've found the fish, which is the most important thing, generally using my eyes, I'll then explore the area using the deeper. In winter, quite often you can use the deeper to find fish. If they're not showing, if you're not seeing any bubblers or anything like that, then casting the deeper around the swim can reveal their whereabouts sometimes. But for me, there isn't any substitute for your eyes, so find them first, and you can use a deeper to explore what is beneath the surface. One other thing that can be a bit of a confidence booster as well with the deeper, and again it's using your sight and your vision first. If you found fish and the activity has subsided, you think they've done the off, actually quite often they are still there, they're just not jumping out. Flick the deeper out and it will confirm that they are still there. Particularly on smaller lakes, the deeper is an invaluable tool for lake mapping, and by that I mean doing your research prior to your fishing session normally. and literally mapping each swim out. By casting sort of to the left of the swim and sort of fanning out your casts, bringing them back, you will be able to map each swim and identify areas of weed, steep gravel bars, even underwater snags. The great thing about the deeper is that it will reveal all the underwater features, the topography of the lake bed, and you can do it in a lot less time than you can when casting a marker around. Another great bonus that is on the deeper is the built-in GPS, which basically allows you to sort of see an overhead view of the contours that you've found, the different depths. You can click onto them, and yeah, it just makes things a lot more accurate. And if you see a fish show, you know exactly what sort of substrate is beneath it. My fourth tip is all about being accurate with the deeper. Now, the way I do that is I will obviously find my feature using the deeper. I will stick that in the line clip, reel it in. I will then remove the deeper, as I showed you earlier, just by pulling the loop, and replace that with a lead. I'll flick that out to exactly where I was pulling that deeper back. It'll obviously hit the clip. I'll feel that down to the bottom and just double confirm what I'm fishing over, which will enable me to decide what rig I'm going to present over the lake bed. Now, the beauty of that as well is if you want to introduce some bait, you can simply get the lead off using the loop-to-loop again, stick a spom on and introduce some bait there as well. Now, once I've done that, I will then wrap it up using wrapping sticks, and obviously however many wraps it is, I will then clip my rods up to that distance. So all very, very accurate, works a treat, and I know it is absolutely bang on. So my final tip, and I have left the best till last, has got to be using Zigs with the deeper, as they are the perfect indicator as to what depth the fish are sitting at. And a day like today, it's nice bright sunshine, we're in the spring, and the carp are clearly up in the water. So a few flicks of the deeper have revealed that they are anything between 2 and 4 foot under, which means I can tie my zigs up and fish them at that depth. But yeah, that is the great thing about them. You can pinpoint exactly what depth the fish are, and it saves the hassle of trial and error using all these different depths, thrashing the water to a foam casting all the time. By using the deeper, you can get exactly where they are. So there you go, that is my 5 top tips for getting the most out of your deeper.